where I add the data like this. I have the column called ID, I have the column called year. Okay, I got the column called semester, I got the column called quarter and amount. So company ID 101 with the year 2014, semester 1, quarter 1 as 20. So like this, year will have two semesters and year will have four quarters. Like that, I have two company IDs here. Okay, so everything, all the years are for 2014, and the semesters I have 1, 2, quarters I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the amount I have. So let's make it 20. So it is 20, 21, 25, 20. This is 20, 50, 25, 30. Okay, so now what is my requirement is it I want the output like this. I want the ID, year, semester and total amount for that. Okay, so I want like this. So year 2000, ID is 101, year is 2014, I have semester 1. Okay, ID is 101, year is 2014, semester 1. ID is 101, year is 2014, semester is 2. ID is 101, year is 2014 and semester is 2. Okay, in this scenario, so since I have ignored the quarter, I have ignored all the quarters, so what will be my amount I am getting? 20. I am showing for only one company, I am not showing for 102, just I am showing for company 101. 20, 25, 21, 20. But my requirement is that I want to get like sum it up at this level. I want to sum it up because this records, it is being shown two times. But what is my requirement is that for the same two records, I want to show like this. 1 and it should sum both the amounts, 41. This is what I want. I doesn't want to show like two records for two quarters. I just want, since I am looking at the data up to semester, I want to sum it up to the semester level. Okay, I want to sum it up to semester level and the same data. So now I'll be getting 101 2014 for semester 2 is 25 and 20, it is 45. Done. But now the same data I want to sum it up at the year level. This level for each company ID and for the year I want to sum it up. So what generally I do? So my output will look like this. I'll have I'm writing in the separate print pad. See it here now. So I'll have the ID, year and amount. Okay. So ID will be the 101. Year will be a 2014. And what will be the amount? Amount is nothing but it will sum the both the amounts for that both the semesters. So what is the amount I have it here? I have the amount 41 and 45. So my output will be 86. So this is the way I want to have the data. So now we are going to have a look like, sorry, I think my notepad sometimes it will not write. Okay, 86 is my total amount. But once we look at the real data, then you will have a clear picture. How can you do that way? Okay. In order to submit the data, you need to use some aggregate functions. Okay, how to use them? So first, what I'll do is that I think I have created some last class we have created some tables, right? Yeah, DBO company. Okay, this is the stuff which I have the ID, I have year and month and amount. So you can see ID 101 year 2010 2010, same, and ID 101 2011 2011, 102 2010 2010. So my scenario is that I'm having the data for months. Okay, at each month. So what is my scenario is that I want to get total data for 101 at year level. Okay, I want to get the data for 101 at year level. So whatever the amounts I got that for the entire year for that one company, I want to get that sum amount. So for that purpose, first we will select the required column. Select CID, comma, year, comma, amount from the table name is company. Or I'll copy the above SQL class script and I'll write it. Okay, now when I do it, what happens? I got the records I got the data as two separate records for that year and the company, but I want to sum it up. Okay, in order to do that, you have some different functions. You have sum function, you have average function, you have minimum function, you have max function. Okay, you have count function. Okay, like that. There are couple of functions where you can submit average, minimum, max, count function. You can submit the data, you can take the average of the data, you can take the minimum of the data, you can take the maximum of the data, you can count number of records for that data. Okay, so I'll show you a few examples now. Since I want to sum it up, so what I'll do, I'll take sum. That's it. When I took sum, when I do this, what happens? It will show an error, because whenever you want to sum the data on certain level, up to certain level you want to sum the data. So for that purpose, you should always use a group by, making the system to understand that you want to see the data up to certain level, but you want to sum the data for the company ID and year. Whatever the records you have, that combination of that particular company ID and year, you want to get the data. That's it. So I'm going to remove these two columns and see it now. So what is my requirement? I want to sum the data for this. Oh, sorry, I forgot that column also. Yeah. So what is my requirement? Since I got this, my requirement is that to sum the data at the company ID and at particular year. Since I got wherever this both the records are same, there I want to sum the data. So here 101 2010, 101 2010. So here I want to sum the data. So my output for 101 2010, 101 2010 will be as shown as 600 now. That's it. Okay, this is nothing but aggregate. So if I want to see the data, I want to ignore the year, but I want to see the total data for that company. I want to see the total data for that company. So what can I do is that I'll just remove the year. That's it. When I do it the year, automatically it will do a group by at the company level and it will sum the data. See. So if you can see this two records, the below one and top one, then you can identify the difference. The above one, for company wise 101, how many records do you have? 4 records. And if you sum it up manually, what is the total you are getting? 15. So you got the same total here. But for 102, I got 2 records. What is the total when I sum it up for that entire 102 company? It is 150. So you got it here. So what system does generally at the back end is that whenever you do some group by, okay, so we'll go with this. I have the company ID, I have the year, I have the month, and I have the amount. So company ID 101, 101, 101, 101. So I said year 2010, 2010, 2011, 2011. And amount I am having as, this is month. Month I am having as 1, 2. This is having like 7, 9. Okay. So the amount is 20, the amount is 30, the amount is 50, the amount is 45. This is the amount that I have for the company ID and the year and the combination of company ID, year and month. So if I want to sum the data on the year and company ID, okay, what system is going to do is that it will select all the data first, get all the data. Next, it sorts out on what columns you want to sum it. I want to sum based on the company ID and year. So what the system does is that it will take 101, 101, 101, 101. It sorts the data for 2010, 2010 based on that year and company ID. So I got 20, 30, 50 and 45. Okay. So here now, after summing up, after ordering the data based on this company ID here, what system does is that whatever the amount you have for this records, it will sum it up. Okay, it will sum that data. Okay, so it will sum the data. At the same time, it will make this record into one record. 101, 2010, and the record as 50. That's it. Same thing it will do for this one also. 101, 2011, and it is 95. If I ask to submit at the only at the company level, what it does? It only get the records for that company, and there is a 4 records. So now it will sum all the records for that one single unique company ID. So whatever the data you add for the one company ID, it will sum up all the amount. So your output will be 101. 50 plus 95 is nothing but 145. Okay, this will be your output. Are you able to get my point? So in order to sum it up, you will mention that column under the group by class. You will mention that column under the group by. Whichever columns I want to sum it up, the remaining columns, like at what level I want to sum, up to that level you need to add it in the group by class. Then only you will be able to sum the data. Okay. So in order to do the group by, I have explained you the background process, right, where the system orders the data. Okay. After ordering the data, it will sum it up. In order to order, system uses some temporary memory. That is nothing but your temp DB. System uses some temp DB for this, and where it orders the data, it sorts the data, and it sums the data. Okay, that's what it does. So now one more thing what I want to is that, okay, I have sum the amount here. I sum the amount at the company level. But what is my scenario is that I also want to count the number of records I added. Example, you can see here. How many records do I have for the company ID 101? 4 records. How many records I have for the 102? 2 records. So what I want is that here I'm able to see the sum. But how did I get the sum by adding how many records? I want to see that. So just you will give comma count. Count star. That's it. When I do the count star, now I'll get the sum of amount. I'll also get the number of records. See, for 101, in order to get it sum, I added 4 records. So you can see the 4 records here. For 102, I added 2 records. So you can see the records as 2. Okay. So you can use any aggregate functions here. So I will use average amount. Then I'll get the average amount for all the data. Okay. 1500 by 4. What is the average by 1500 for 4? It is nothing but you will be getting around like 400 or 375, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, you got 375 average. So 150 by 2. The average is 75. That's it. You got the average also. Okay. Like that, you can play with the aggregate functions. So are you all clear? So one more thing, whenever you have the aggregate functions, whatever the columns you have apart from the aggregate functions, all the columns should be there in the group by. Okay, is everyone clear with this? So now what I'll be saying is that I'll explaining you some scenarios where how to run the SQL script, order of execution of the SQL script. Okay, so first you need to write select star. Star means for all the columns, right, from table name. After writing the table name, if I have any where class, I should use a where condition. After adding the where condition, I need to use a group by. After group by, then only I can use a having. After having, then only I can use the order by. Okay. So I'll show you the example. Whatever we did in the last class, I'll just show you the example when comparing this syntax. Okay. When you will using the order by, when you will use the having, when you will use the group by, when you will use the where condition. Okay. So my table is this one. Okay. This is my table I have. Select star from year amount. CID year amount. I'll have the month also. So this is the data I got. Okay. CID year, month and amount. Now what I want to do is that I want to sum the amount. Okay. I want to sum the amount for each company ID and year. So what generally I do here now? And remember, this is the important one. You need to know how you are going to do the aggregate. How you are going to sum the data at the aggregate level. Okay. So now I want to sum the amount. So what I'll do, I'll just do sum. Whenever I use the functions, now you can see it here. I'll use the year ID and company ID and year. Control C. Okay. Now group by. Done. So now what I will be doing, I'll execute this query. So when I execute, what happens? I'll get the company ID and I'll get the sum of amount for that year. But what I want is that I want to ignore the data where year is 2010. Sorry, where the year is 2011. I want to ignore the data where it is having 2011 as a year. I want to ignore the data. I don't want to sum the data where it is having year as 2011. I don't want to sum the data. It is nothing but, since when I select all the data, you are having on year 2011 two records, right? I just want to include the records where it has year as 2011. Then what I'll do? I can't write that before where. I can't write the where condition after group by. I should always write the where condition before group by only. Where condition will always be there after from. Okay? From where. Here I am using not equal. So I can use this one or I can use this one. Both are same. Where not equal to 2011. So when I do it and when I submit the data, now it will ignore the year for the 2011. It will only show the year for 2010. That's it. Okay, this is where I can use the where condition. Now one more thing, what I want to do is that after summing the data, I want to just ignore. Now what I will do, I'll add the month also here. Okay, to have a little bit visibility on this. Even though I add month, it will just ignore the data for 2011. Wherever the year is 2011, it will not get the data. Okay, you didn't get that. Now what is my scenario is that I am aggregating data at the year and month. Okay, at the year and month I am aggregating the data. That's the one thing. Now what is my requirement is that wherever for this particular ID, year and month, after summing up, if I have the amount less than 100, I don't want to pull that record. After summing up, if wherever I am having the sum less than 100, then I don't want that record. Less than 100, I don't want that record. How to do that? Group by class is, what is a group by class? It evaluates. So this is our scenario, right? What the group by does, it takes the data. Yeah. So what group by does, it takes the data, it sorts and then it sums. But now you want to put a condition after summing the data, not before summing the data, right? After summing the data, then you can use a having clause. Having sum of amount, okay, greater than or equal to 100. I don't want less than 100, means whichever is greater than or equal to 100, I want to get that record. So previously you got 4 records, now you're having only 3 records. See, means you are summing this. So if I use the same sum in the where condition, it will not be done. Okay, it will not be done. And next you will use the order by condition. Order by CID, I'll just use a year or I'll just use a month. Order by month. Okay, when I run, all the months will come at the beginning and next this months will go at the end. Okay, lower ones will come at the beginning, higher ones will go down. That is because I have not given anything with the order by month. I didn't give anything like description. By default it will be ascending order. If I don't give ascending, if I give, both are same. If I don't give also, it will sort it in ascending by default. So I need to I need to specify it. If I want to see the data in a descending order, I need to specify it. Since I have given here descending order, then 2 comes up for this month and 1 come down. See. Okay. Now comes the real scenario. How the query executes here. So what the query does, I'll take the entire data here. Okay, whatever data I have, I will be taking. I got some data, I took them. So what my query really does. So this is the way how the system executes. First, it will get all the data from the table. Then it will filter on the where condition. After filtering, you will do a group by. After doing a group by and whatever amount you get the sum, right? If you want to filter on this, then you can use a having class. After having, everyone thinks it goes to order by. No, it will not go to the order by. After having, then you are given star. Star is nothing but you are calling all the columns. So it will pull all the columns from the table. After doing this all the steps, then it will sort the data. So first you will have this step performed. Next you will have this step performed. Next this one. This one. Next you will have this as a 5. Next you will have this as a 6. Okay. Why? I'll show you this. So now what happens here? I got some columns. So you can see here one. Sum of amount. I'm doing the sum. But since I used in a function, you will be getting the column name as no column name. What I will do for this, I'll just give column name as total. Okay. Amount. This is a column name I give as total amount. So I have given some alias to the column name. Now, instead of using sum amount, I'll just use the alias column. Because since whatever the value I got here, I'm storing this, right? I do that. But what system? The system will throw an error. Because it cannot find that column name. Why? This select list will be executed after having class. So what is when the select list gets executed after having class? So when that column name will be assigned, the column name will be renamed during the select class. Because you are renaming the column at the select time itself. But when this is happening at the step 5. But when the having is happening at step 4. If I use it, it will throw an error because that column is being assigned after the having. So you are using that before. So it will say that error. Invalid column name. Now, I'll just remove that. I'll have the sum amount. Now, can I use the same column here? Because when I get some data here, I'm not doing order by now. I get some data here, but I want to sort the data. What I'll do, instead of giving sum amount, I can give it in two ways. I can give sum amount, it will work. Okay, I'll just give sum amount and execute it. See, it ordered. If I give in descending order, yes, it does. Both are same. Okay, it does. Instead of that, as I said, order by executes after select list. So where I am giving the new name, I am giving the name at the select list. So this sum amount has been replaced with a new column name called total amount. I can use the order in the order by. Instead of this, I can directly use that column name. That's it. If I execute this, even though without using sum amount, I can use the alias. This is nothing but the alias, right? I am giving one name. I have given one name to the sum amount. Okay, I have given some alias name, so I can use alias name in the order by. So here, if you can ignore the wait condition, it's good. No, nothing to worry. If I ignore the wait condition, what happens? I'll get the data for 2011 also. That's it. So what I did, I ignored the wait condition. You can also comment it. When I comment it, see, this is the old data. Since I'm commenting the wait condition, then you'll also get the data for 2011. If I uncomment it, remove the comments, then since I'm ignoring the data for 2011, so I'll not be getting the data for 2011 here. See, you got here for 2011, but since I'm ignoring the in the wait condition, I'll not be getting. That's it. Okay. So here first select table will be performed. It will go to the table. It will retrieve all the data from the table, and in the meantime, while it's retrieving the data, since you are using the wait condition, okay, since you are using the wait condition, gone. It will filter the data. Whatever the data you pull from the table, it will filter in the wait condition. After filtering, you can use a group by. After using the group by, you can use a having, and after that, the select operation will be performed. And if you do the order by, whatever data has been selected, in that you are sorting the data. Is everyone clear with this?